The Twin Flame Saga has been canned. We're now going to take a deeper dive into this Soulmate Saga. A little fireside fantasy storytelling, as we are all called inside for some spiritually guided creativity. In the hush of a Michigan winter, where the Great Lakes whispered secrets through fog-shrouded pines, and the last crimson leaves clung to branches like forgotten prayers, Soulzi stood at the edge of a quiet inland lake we'll call Goodrich, for goodness sake. The water mirrored the bruised sky, rippling gently, as if breathing in time with her own measured exhales. She had come here often. First as a child, and then in her dreams, and furthermore, then in the cards she laid on her weathered table, and finally in the clear, insistent voices of her guides. Soulzi was no stranger to visions, an oracle rooted in the old ways of the land, drawing from the currents of the waters and the quiet power of the forests. She had learned to listen to what most ignored. The hum beneath the soil, the shift in the wind before a storm, the subtle warnings woven into the starlight. Her life is one she is building of sovereignty, carved out through years of shedding expectation like old skin. She moved through the world unbound, her days filled with delightful herbal brews, occasional moonlit rituals, and the slow unraveling of her clients' futures. Michigan held her like a cradle, the state's vast, untamed wilderness felt like an extension of her own spirit. Her guides had been unequivocal. To leave these shores would dim her protection, thin the veil between worlds until danger crept closer. Yet across the miles, in a humid, sun-soaked sprawl in the south, where palm fronds clashed against relentless blue skies, and the air tasted of salt and fervent sermons, stood Michael. He knelt in a small, dimly lit prayer room behind a modest Catholic church, scriptures open on the worn carpet, forehead pressed to the floor. Sweat beaded on his brow, despite the air conditioning. His prayers were fierce, almost desperate. "Lord, guide her to submission," he murmured, with his voice cracking, "making her see the order you designed. She is mine. You showed me in visions, in signs. Why does she resist?" His faith was his fortress, built brick by brick from scripture interpreted through a lens of absolute authority. He believed in headship, in the divine hierarchy where man led and women followed. Her will folded neatly into his like pages in his book. He loved her madly, obsessively, with a fire that scorched him. The connection had struck like lightning the first time their paths crossed. Even then, still losing her baby teeth, her mystic insights clashed beautifully with his doctrinal certainties. He saw her as the missing piece as they were racing back and forth between the fence and the basketball hoop. And now, the lily and the kitten God had sent to be cherished and kept. But tamed she must be. He sent messages in his posts, laced with urgency, deadlines for decisions, pleas masked as commands, reminders that time was slipping, and God's will demanded action now. Soulzi felt the pull, undeniable as the tide. His love was real. Her guides confirmed it every single time she asked. A deep, soul-level recognition burned between them. The kind that poets called twin flames. But they got it all messed up. They're soulmates. And the ancients knew them as mirrors of the divine. Yet every vision showed the same shadow. Him reaching to place her in a box carved from his certainties, roles predefined, freedom most certainly curtailed, and her oracular gifts muted under the weight of his dominion. He wants to own the mystery. One guide had said plainly, his love is true, but his fear of losing control will chain what it claims to protect. Obstacles had piled high from the start. Ever since they were children, family disapproval on both sides, misunderstandings that escalated into silence, and even technological glitches that swallowed messages whole. Sudden illnesses, travel bans that seemed orchestrated by unseen hands. The distance itself mocked them. 1,200 miles of Midwest plains giving away to southern heat. Great Lakes to Gulf waves. She sought neutrality, a space to release the past ghosts without pressure or possession. He sought union on his terms, convinced that surrender from a patriarchal standpoint was the path to salvation. One evening, as snow threatened the lower peninsula, Soulzi wrapped herself in a wool beach blanket against the chill, her essence ignited, lit with his latest message. The Lord has given me a date. By the new moon in January, you must decide. I cannot wait forever. Come to me. Let me lead. She set her room temperature coffee down, walked into her studio, and closed her eyes. The water spirits answered first. A low, resonant hum rising from the depths. Then her guides. His heart is yours, but his hands would clip your wings. Protection lies here in the roots and the waves on land between the Great Lakes. Choose sovereignty, and the path may yet open, or force it, and the box becomes a cage. Soulzi breathed in the crisp, salt-scented air, feeling the earth's pulse beneath her. The story was only beginning. Union, if it came, would not be conquest. It would be something rarer. Two fierce souls meeting in the middle ground, where control dissolved and love learned to breathe freely. Whether they would bring the miles, together bridging it, and the chasms between mystic and zealot remained unwritten. The next phase unfolded now, fragile as frost on grass, fierce as a gathering storm. After the rainfall in past days, the snow had began in earnest. The December 27th, 2025 would veil the Michigan woods in heavy silence. Soulzi had considered purchasing and retreating to a small cedar cabin deep in the Huron-Manistee National Forests, far from the glow of holiday lights in nearby towns. The next new moon was still days away, but Michael's deadline hung over her like the low, gray clouds. She had not replied to his last rant. Instead, she lit a candle, drew a circle of salt and cedar needles on her table, and settled into the stillness. Her breath slowed. The world outside faded. The wind attempting to rattle the windows. The distant groan of ice, until only the candle flame and the pulse in her wrist remained. Then the veil parted. In the vision, she stood once more at the lake's edge. But the water was frozen solid now, a vast mirror of obsidian under a sky split in two. One half midnight blue and star-strewn, the other burning gold, as if the sun refused to set. Two paths stretched from her feet into the snow. The northern path curved gently along the shoreline, lined with ancient white pines whose branches bowed under fresh powder. Lanterns of foxfire glowed softly along it, pale green, steady, familiar. Each step felt like sinking roots deeper into the earth. The air grew crisper, cleaner, carrying the scent of the cedar in her pocket and frozen cranberries in her lemon water. Protection wrapped around her like a living cloak. She could feel her guides walking beside her, translucent and calm, their presence. Also, a quiet hum in her bones. This way led home, deeper into sovereignty, into the slow unraveling of old wounds, without haste or demand. but it also led away from him. The southern path cut straight and sharp through the trees, then opened abruptly onto blinding sunlight. Palms replaced pines. The snow melted into white sand. A great iron cross stood at the threshold, gleaming, immovable. He waited there, not kneeling now, but standing tall, arms outstretched, as though he could pull her across the miles by will alone. His eyes burned with that same obsessive fire she had glimpsed in their videos. Love so fierce it bordered on possession. Come, he said in the vision, voice carrying over the sudden roar of ocean waves. God has ordained this. I will shield you. Submit and be safe in my keeping. Yet, as he spoke, shadows coiled at his feet, subtle at first, then thickening into chains that reached towards her ankles. Not cruel chains, but heavy ones, forged from his scripture and certainty. Behind him, the light dimmed slightly. The vibrant southern palette of colors leached to sepia. Her oracular sight flickered there, muted, as though viewed through a smoky amber glass. She felt the pull in her chest, a cord of molten gold connecting heart to heart. His love was no illusion. It pulsed strong and real, a flame that warmed even across the divide. But the guides appeared again, forming a loose circle around her. One step forward, a tall, silver-haired figure with eyes like still water placed a hand over her own. No words, only knowing. This is her guardian angel. because his price for protection would come at the price of losing the protection of your guides and guardians. The box is gilded, but it remains a box. Choose the flame that does not consume your light. Soulzi looked down, and at her feet the two paths converged for a single pace. A narrow bridge of ice over dark water. To step fully north was to honor the land and the self she had painstakingly reclaimed. To step south was to risk everything for a union her soul recognized, but her spirit feared. Or perhaps there was a third way. To stand exactly here on the bridge, refusing both easy answers until something new could form. The vision held her there, suspended, until the candle guttered low. When she opened her eyes, the room was cold. The snow outside heavier, thicker. Her phone lay silent on the table. No new post from Michael. Not yet. But in her palm, pressed there by unseen hands, lay a single fragrant cedar needle, still green, impossibly warm. The next phase deepened. Soulzi rose, wrapped in her beach blanket tighter, and walked to the window. The field beyond was a sheet of ice under the winter stars. Somewhere, 600 miles away, Michael would be praying again, demanding another sign, saying, "Lord, show me the truth, no matter the cost." She smiled faintly, small, private, resolute. The story was far from settled. Soulzi had chosen this place years ago precisely for its neutrality. Far enough from city clamor to hear the whispers of her guides, close enough to the earth's steady heartbeat to feel protected. She refused to be uprooted lightly. Her life as oracle and mystic demanded sovereignty, unfettered access to visions, to the subtle languages of plants and stars, to the freedom of saying no when the world or a man demanded yes. Later on, his latest post notification will pop just after midnight. For some reason, these notifications were arriving late, time-stamped from the cold and rigid stillness of New York, where every winter carried the weight of relentless sun. A glare, a blinding glare, blocking their vision, their true vision, one you will not find in a book. The words burned through the screen. Accusations wrapped in scripture, and jealousy flaring like dry tinder. It's in the forecast, beloveds. But her foresight never fails her. He had seen a photo she posted, a simple image, arranging tarot cards by candlelight. Nothing provocative, only her small, delicate hands. And the mania had ignited. Who is watching you? Who did you paint your nails for? The Lord showed me shadows around you. Men who would steal what is mine. Answer me now. Tell me there is no one else. The message spirals into demands for proof, for immediacy, for her to abandon her mystic distractions and go south with him before the new moon passed. His love was a wildfire, consuming, obsessive, real, but it still comes chained to possession. Soulzi listened to it once, and then set the phone face down on the rough-hewn table. She would not, will not, shall not reply in haste. She would not become a muse to a man with a one-track mind. Her mysteries reduced to ornaments in his doctrine. Her visions filtered through his lens of control. And her guides have been clear from the beginning. Michael's devotion ran deep, soul deep, the kind that recognized her across lifetimes. Yet his jealousy was a blade he welded against the very light he claimed to adore. Each manic bout, sudden floods of messages questioning her friendships, her late-night rituals, Her refusal to bend revealed the same fear, that without absolute dominion, she would slip away. She's by the window, beach blanket drawn tight against the chill seeping through the panes. Outside, the world was muffled, white. The nearest water body lay a short walk through the field, its surface locked in ice that reflected the faint glow of a gibbous moon. She closes her eyes again and let the next vision come unbidden. No circle or candle required this time. It arrived soft as snowfall, soft as snowfall. She saw herself standing on that frozen creek, barefoot despite the cold. The ice unyielding beneath her. Michael appeared, not in the Florida heat, but here in her winter. He strode forward, arms wide, voice booming like scripture. Come to me, beloved. Let me cover you. No more wandering. No more secrets. As he neared, the ice cracked beneath his steps. Thin fractures spidering outward. Black water welling up. He did not see them. His eyes were fixed only on her, burning with that jealous hunger. Behind him, chains of golden light, or were they iron, trailed from his wrists, reaching for hers. Her guides materialized as soft luminosities in the snow-laden branches, watchful, silent. And then one brushed her cheek. His love is a mirror of your own power, but inverted. He would frame you to keep the light from escaping. You would dim in that frame. Refuse the cage, even if it is lined with devotion. Soulzi felt a cord between them thrum. Golden, unbreakable, aching. She could cross to him, step onto the fracturing ice, and let his arms close around her. The union would be fierce, ecstatic, but also terrifying. Or She could stand exactly where she is, sovereign on her own frozen ground, and wait for something beyond his deadlines and his mania. A meeting where neither had to break the other to fit. Then the vision faded as suddenly as it came. Soulzi opened her eyes to find her palm pressed to the cold glass. Breath fogging the vision. In the quiet, her phone vibrated once. Another online posted message. No doubt laced with the same desperate fire. She did not pick it up. Instead, she turned to the small wood stove, fed it a fresh log, and watched the flames rise steady and unhurried. The storm outside howled on, but inside the house held its own warmth and own rhythm. The saga stretched ahead. Two souls tethered by something ancient, separated by miles and mindsets, each refusing to yield entirely. Whether jealousy would consume him or sovereignty would anchor her, or whether some third path might yet open between the Michigan snow and the Florida sun, remained unwritten. For now, Soulzi simply breathed, listening to the land beneath her feet. It still said, "Stay." It still said, "You are enough. You are worthy. You are love. You are divine feminine and masculine. No man completes you. You are already whole. But you already know. As you hold that blank scroll, as the rest is still unwritten, this concludes today's Rising Energy Soulmate Edition. I want to thank you so very much, Multiversal Soul Familia, for tuning in with much gratitude and appreciation. From my heart chakra to yours, brightest of blessings and agape omni love to all. And one more thing, I love you. You.